Good day, everybody. Welcome to my course on pipeline cold bend calculations. So in this image, you can see that some pipeline bends are there. It can be hot bend or cold bend. From this configuration, it seems to be a cold bend. So specifically in this course, we will be learning the calculations that are associated with pipeline cold bends, requirement of pipes for creating that cold bends, and all other calculations. This is module 1 of the course, which is the introduction module. In this course, we will cover the following points in brief. First is introduction, then what is a pipeline bend and the major differences between bend and elbows. Then types of pipeline bends, what are the various type of bends that are used in pipelines. Then what is a pipeline cold bend, because the main topic for this course is pipeline cold bend calculations. Next is calculations associated with cold bends, various type of calculations specifically to find out the number of pipe lengths or pipes. We all know that there are two types of pipes available when ordering or manufacturer supply. One is called single random length and other is called double random length. In general, single random length, the length of that pipe is around 12 meter, whereas in double random length, the length is around 18 meter. So for creating a pipeline bend, let's assume that it is a 16-inch pipeline and the bend requirement is 75 degree. So to create that 75 degree elbow, or not elbow, for pipeline it is bend. To create that 75 degree bend, how many pipe spools will be required? That calculation we will be performing in this course, and we will be learning all the associated formulas or equations so that you can easily calculate that. Then key parameters, what are the major parameters that impact or affect the pipeline cold bend, its formation as well as the calculations. And finally, we will learn a practical calculation to find out the number of pipes required for creating that bend. So these are the main points that will be explained throughout this course. And towards the end, I will be attaching some of the free course links or even free courses if possible, so that you can learn in more depth about these pipeline cold bends, and also one video that explains how pipeline cold bends are made in a pipeline cold bending machine. Now, who is this course for? Who are the ideal candidates who should undertake this course to get benefited? This online course will be suitable for pipeline design engineers, then pipeline construction engineers who are working at construction site and who are actually assisting or supervising the pipeline bend activities. Then pipeline material engineers to calculate the pipe requirement for creating that bend, and any site personnel and other professionals who are interested to learn how a pipeline bend calculation is done at construction site or even during design phase to estimate the proper quantity of pipes required for that bending activities. Now, what is a pipeline bend? Here in this example, you can see these are at shop floor and you can see that temperature is involved. So these are all hot bends, not cold bends. because in most of the cases you can see that temperature or heating is involved. Now a pipeline bend is a curved section of a pipeline that deviates from the straight line typically used to change the direction of the pipeline. So the main aim for bending a pipeline to change direction, because you know that pipeline route will not be continuously straight for a very long stretch, and it requires various changes in directions. So in those regions or sections you have to employ a pipeline bend. Now pipeline bends are essential in real world pipeline installations because they allow the pipeline to navigate around obstacles, follow terrain contours, and connect to other sections. So because you have to follow the actual route and it is not always continuously straight. So there is a requirement of pipeline beds. Now one questions might arise in your mind, that is it same as elbow? Because you might have heard the term piping elbow, and here you are hearing that pipeline bend. Even in on-plot piping section near the station ends, you have heard the term pipeline elbow also. So what are the major differences between a elbow and a bend? Now if you compare the major differences between a pipeline bend as well as pipeline elbow, so we can understand that a elbow is a pre-manufactured pipe fitting used to change the direction of the flow in a pipeline. So this is pre-manufactured, means based on some standard, usually ASME B16.9. These elbows are pre-manufactured and in standard sizes these are available. Whereas for bends, a curved section of a pipeline that is manually or mechanically bent to change direction. In general, specifically for cold bends, these are bent at site, at construction site, to achieve the proper angle or required angle as mentioned in your pipeline alignment sheets or pipeline route plan drawings. Then elbows are factory made with specific angles, means angle variation in case of elbows are limited. Majorly available angles are 45 degree, 90 degree and 180 degree. Whereas for bends you can achieve any bend angle because you are performing the bending operation at site, and based on your requirement you can get whatever you want. So typically formed on site through cold or hot bending methods. Common angles are, as I mentioned, 90 degree, 45 degree and 180 degree. Sometimes 30 degrees also available. Angles vary and can custom design to fit specific needs. Then elbows are high precision with consistent angles and dimensions, whereas bends, the angles and radius of bend may vary based on site conditions, requiring more calculation and manual work. Elbows have a fixed radius based on the specific elbow fitting. In general, most of the elbows comes in short radius or long radius elbow form. Short radius means where bend radius is single times d, means 1d, whereas long radius elbows in general comes with 1.5 times of d. Whereas bend radius in case of pipeline bends are flexible with custom curves depending on project needs. For example, up to 8 inch it may be 25D, then 8 inch up to 14 inch it may be 30D, more than 14 inch it may be 40D. So based on your local specification or even codes and standards, this minimum bend radius can vary. ASME B31.8 also gives a table where they specify the minimum bend radius that are required for pipeline cold bends. Then elbows are limited to the available sizes of pre-manufactured elbows, whereas bends can be used in pipelines for various sizes, including large diameter pipes through custom bending. Typically quicker to install since elbows are prefabricated and ready to use. You can simply weld it as a piping fitting at the end of the pipe and it is installed. Whereas bending a pipeline on site can take longer due to the need for special equipment and calculations. Elbows are less flexible in terms of angle because we already discussed that angles that can be generated or that are available for elbows based on ASME B16.9 are fixed, whereas these are more flexible in terms of radius and angle. Bends can be tailored to exact project needs. So to summarize, we can say that elbows are pre-made standardized fittings with fixed angles commonly used for quick precision directional changes in piping system, whereas bends are more versatile, often formed on site and can be adjusted to accommodate unique complex pipeline routing requirements. They offer a more gradual curve and can be more suitable for larger or custom pipeline projects. Hope by now you understood what are the major differences between bends and elbows. Now below is a summary of the comparison between bends and elbows. Elbows bend angles are 45 degree, 90 degree and 180 degree return, but bends can have any angle such as 15 degree, 17 degree, 30 degree, 75 degree, etc. Bends are fabricated per the piping need. However, elbows are prefabricated and standard and available off the shelf. Elbow is a standard fitting while the bend is a custom fabricated fitting. Bends are never sharp corners, but elbows are. All elbows are bends, but all bends are not elbows. Due to larger radius of bends, the flow through bends is smoother compared to elbows. So obviously the pressure drop in case of elbows will be more as compared to bends. Bends are utilized in piggable pipelines while elbows are utilized in piping where pigging is not applicable. So that's all for this introduction module. Hope you have got a brief understanding of what is a pipeline bend and what are the major differences between bend and elbow. That's all. Thank you. Happy learning.